Are you interested in a new construction home right here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina? Well, in this video, Ashley and I are going to take you through a D.R. Horton new construction community called Winfield Farms on a golf cart. Yes, you're going to get a golf cart tour. Now, we're also going to break down, I'm going to show you just how much money it's going to take to move into this property, what your monthly payments are going to be. I'm going to cover a nice little kind of like profit and loss statement. It's going to be a breakdown of your expenses out of pocket to get into this home. I'm also going to cover appreciation trends. How well are new construction homes appreciating over the last decade in our market? Now, from there, I'm going to show you which upgrades make the most sense. I'm going to show you the ones to go for that have that high ROI and the ones to avoid that are not going to give you pretty much any return whatsoever when you go to resell this property. From there, we're also going to look at the different lots on site. I'll show you a lot map, and I'm going to tell you which lots you want to avoid and which ones are the most valuable in Winfield Farms so that you know how to buy now so that it resells for premium later. We're going to get into so much valuable information that you need to know, and you do need a solid buyer broker to help you work through these kinds of details when purchasing new construction. Now, we will also take a walkthrough of the new construction home that's right back behind us so you can see a beautiful water view, and I'll even compare nearby new construction or resale homes on a price per square foot basis so that you know where this community falls compared to the market and if you're paying a premium for it and if that premium's worth the extra privacy, the larger lots, just everything that you get here at Winfield Farms. Guys, I don't want to hold us up, but I've chocked this video full of everything that you need to make a savvy decision about new construction with D.R. Horton. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's get into the video now. If you're thinking about buying a new construction home in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, this video could completely change where and how you buy. Purchasing new construction is all about the deal, and having a solid buyer's broker could be the difference in you building wealth with many of your fellow Americans or making a decision that costs you thousands from day one. Because not all new communities are the same. Builder incentives vary, financing options differ, some neighborhoods hold value better than others, and the amenities that actually matter to everyday homeowners can change from one community to the next. In this series, we're taking you inside new construction communities across Myrtle Beach and the Grand Strand, from coastal neighborhoods to fast-growing inland areas, so you can see how they really compare before you make a decision. We'll break down builder incentives, lot purchase and resale strategy, new construction versus resale comparables, and work through your floor plan resale potential. Not only will you see the out-of-pocket expenses to purchase the property, but you'll also get a full breakdown of your first year annual home expenses. We'll take a tour of the on-site amenities, and I'll show you local points of interest that will impact your daily life, like schools, shopping, golf, restaurants, grocery stores, medical, and even highway infrastructure. But we're not just talking about this from a desk. You'll hear directly from on-site sales agents inside each community as I interview them as your buyer's broker, paired with on-location video so you can actually see the homes, feel the neighborhood, and understand the pace and personality of each area. We'll compare communities side by side in each area so that you can see how this community stacks up against the rest of the market and decide if you can get a better deal elsewhere or if the premium you're paying is really worth the cost. Remember, the biggest wealth builder many Americans have is their primary home. And I'll help you size up this deal to ensure that you'll be able to resell this new construction home, keeping hard-earned money for you and your loved ones. Whether you're a first-time buyer, VA and FHA buyer, growing family, upsizer, newlywed couple, second home buyer, investor looking for a stable new construction rental property, or a retiree, I'll help you find the best community that meets not only your needs, but also positions you for long-term value and resale. By the end of this video, you won't just know what's being built, you'll understand why some communities stand out, which ones fit your budget and lifestyle, and where buyers are getting the most value today so that they can make the most at resale. So whether you're relocating, upgrading, downsizing, buying your first home, or planning for the future here in Myrtle Beach, this series will give you the clarity and confidence to make a smart move. Now guys, we are just outside of the Cali right here in Winfield Farms. Now guys, basically this home is going to appeal to retirees, families, and second home buyers. You know, ultimately, there's no stairs, which equals long-term usability. It's going to have an easier resale because it's got a wider, it's actually got the widest buyer pool. Now, single-story homes like this are some of the safest long-term purchases because they appeal to almost every type of buyer. Now, it's got a clean, bright exterior, which is white. It's got, which, in my opinion, that white exterior is going to equal a premium feel. This one stands out compared to darker homes nearby. This feels more coastal, big for Myrtle Beach buyers, reflects heat better, practical benefit, you know, for your cost. And then, you know, it pops visually. So it's going to have better resale photos. This color palette tends to photograph better and attract more buyers when you go to sell. Now, it's got a long, clean driveway plus a 2-car garage. It's simple but functional. Multiple cars, plus guest parking, clean approach to the home, and good for entertaining and visitors. If you're a retiree, you're probably going to have people visiting you. And if you're a family, you're probably going to have people visiting you. Now, again, whenever you're doing new construction, long driveways can be a double-edged sword. They do provide a lot of parking, but they take up a lot of space. And most of the time, that's going to cut into your backyard, which we're going to find out in a minute if that is the case on this home. Now, there's a tree line behind, which gives you built-in privacy, which is huge. This continues to be one of the biggest sales points in Winfield Farms. Now, there's no direct rear neighbors, which means it's going to be quiet and peaceful. Strong resale appeal. Again, people are looking for, in my opinion, it's going to be strong. I mean, it's going to be quiet and peaceful. And in my opinion, I think people are looking for that. Now, it does have a wider lot fill. And you can even see back here, I'm sorry, real quick, before we get to the lot fill. Actually, we are on the lot fill, so let's talk about it. Guys, there's not really a double-edged sword here. You're not going to be trading off, look at that, look how, you're not trading off backyard space for a front yard driveway. You're getting both, which is one of the main value propositions for Winfield Farms. So there's a wider lot fill. The spacing between the homes is, you know, it isn't ultra tight. There's more breathing room, there's better light and airflow. It's less cookie cutter fill because of the space between the lots. The space between the homes, the lots are just a lot larger. Now, this is new construction, so it's a low stress ownership. You know, there's minimum maintenance early on. A lot of people that are buying new construction, they get builder warranties and all kinds of things with these homes. You know, you're most likely not going to have to replace anything for the next 10 years because it's a brand new home. Now, of course, we need to do an inspection and do our due diligence on it, of course. And there's no guarantee of how that's going to pan out in the future. But generally, the consensus is, I feel like at least, that, you know, a lot of your maintenance costs, you don't have to deal with them for the first decade that you own the home. So there's minimal maintenance early on, there's builder warranties, and it really helps you have some predictability for your first few years. Now, this yard is very, very basic, but this is actually a value add moment. This is one of the easiest ways to increase value. You can invest a few $1,000s into landscaping and completely transform the curb appeal on this home. As you can see, you definitely need it. I mean, it's got a little tree, it's got some shrubs and stuff, and that's nice, but you want to increase resale value and curb appeal, put some strong landscaping in, and that will go a long way. Now, I do want to talk about the sun plus the heat factor. There's no large shade trees in the front yard here. So it's going to be a hotter yard in the summer, and grass maintenance is going to matter a lot more. You're probably going to want to hire someone to make sure this grass is green. Let's be honest. You know, we want to think about shade and landscaping long term. This affects how usable the yard actually is. Now, let's talk about the simpler front design. There's obviously a lower builder cost here, and there's less architectural depth. We want to compare this to other homes to make sure you're getting your value, not just paying a base level elevation. And that's something that a lot of buyers overlook. They come in here and they, not that D.R. Horton's agents aren't doing their jobs. I'm just saying, when you hire a solid buyer's broker, we can dig into things to make sure that you're getting a good deal, not just a really cool, nice home, but actually a good deal. Now, the lot slope and grading. This is subtle but important. The yard looks slightly sloped. So you got to make sure that you're analyzing the drainage direction and the water flow after rain. I'd want to verify how water moves across this lot. This is something that buyers don't think about until it becomes a problem. I'd want to see if water is pooling anywhere. That's kind of a big deal and something that you need to be thinking about with new construction. And one of the reasons why clients that do new construction deals hire a solid buyer broker to represent them and dig into all those kinds of details. Now, finally, guys, I want to work through neighboring home proximity, because this is still a factor. Even though these lots are much larger over here at Winfield Farms, I want to make sure that you have the right expectations as far as privacy, as far as putting up a fence. Yes, you can put up a fence, and even how your outdoor living setup is going to be in that backyard. That's something that I would want to be working through with you as you're putting this home under construction as they're building it. Now, this is the type of home that checks a lot of boxes. It's single-story living. It's got a bright exterior that really stands out, and a private tree line behind you. These are all features that tend to hold value really well. But if I were representing you, I believe timing the market matters just as much as picking the home. Understanding end of quarter and end of year builder pressure, knowing when to target inventory homes versus to be built opportunities, and recognizing early phase versus late phase pricing can dramatically change your outcome. I believe financing is where deals are truly won or lost. Interest rate differences, temporary versus permanent buy downs, choosing the right loan type like VA, FHA, or conventional, and knowing when to use lender credits versus builder lender incentives can impact your payment for more than the purchase price. I believe when all of these elements are aligned correctly, you're not just buying a home, you're engineering a deal that works for you on day one and positions you to win again at resale. Guys, we're just outside the Cali. Now look at that covered porch with recessed lighting. Absolutely stunning. Got a nice wide open entryway. Now this is a first impression, but it's also very, very functional. It's a defined entry. You're not walking into chaos. You don't walk straight into the living room. You have a transition space, which is absolutely wonderful. Now, there's a closet here, coat closet here to my left, as you can see. Now, the value here is that this is going to give you more privacy. It's going to feel more intentional. It's going to feel higher end, and it's going to be a better flow for your guest. You're not walking straight into your living space. This gives the home a more finished feel right from the start. Now, you got a bedroom here to your left, as you can see, which there's plenty of natural light in. One thing I want to point out about these bedrooms is that they are separate from the living area, which is going to give you quiet sleeping spaces, better for families or guests. It's going to have a strong resale layout, in my opinion. Now, there's nothing overly customized here. These are pretty safe, standard, resale-friendly bedrooms, which means it's going to appeal to a wider or the widest buyer pool. It's going to be easy to furnish, and it's going to have predictable functionality. High ceilings in that bathroom. I mean, look, it feels very, very spacious. It's not cramped. Vanity, lighting, tub shower combo, as you can see. Now, there's a central bathroom placement here where the bathroom sits between the secondary bedrooms. This is an efficient layout for guests and kids. It's no wasted hallway space. It's very, very practical. I want to point out this. Look at the natural light in the rooms. Natural light is one of those things buyers feel instantly, even if they don't realize why. This layout works really well, but I'd still want to compare bedroom sizes and closet space across other homes so you're getting the best value. Now that right there, that's a solid laundry room, and I'm going to get into that in a minute because I'll just do it now. So ultimately, you want to keep your clothes near where your clothes live. So it's great that the bedrooms are right here by the laundry room because it makes it very functional and very, very practical. Now, this is a linen closet here. We've got your garage here. I'm going to get this thing opened so you can kind of see it with some light in it in just a minute. There is an attic here. But before I do that, I am going to take you into this bedroom. We've got a closet here. Nice natural light. As you can see, closet here. Recessed lighting. It's high ceilings, which is great. Now, we're going to cross over. Oh, before we cross over into the living zone, check that out. Come on now. Super cool. I'm not climbing up there. I won't do it. Okay, fine. I'll do it. Kind of curious myself. Look at all that finished space, guys. That's pretty cool. HVAC. Okay, we did it. Yes, I'm in a suit climbing up this attic for you. All right, let's get back to work. Now, kitchen is the true centerpiece, guys. This is the social hub of the home. As you can see here, full visibility to the living and the backyard. So this is what you're seeing. You're at your command center here. This is the command center of the home. You're connected to everything from right here. Now there's a large island, which is great. It's highly functional. This is a strong island setup. There's seating. You can see here, you can put some bar stools because you got a nice little overlap. This is going to be your entertaining focal point. It's also going to be where you have everyday usability. Now, you also have backyard visibility, which is great because you can see straight out into the yard. You can watch the kids and the pets. You can put up a fence so you can let the kids come play out back. It's going to be better connection to the outdoor space, and it's going to feel more open. Being able to see your backyard from your kitchen is one of the most underrated features for daily living. It's going to feel really great. You're in your kitchen, you're cooking something up, and you're watching your kids play right out back. That's awesome. Now notice the recessed lighting. It's evenly distributed. There's no dark spots. There's a modern fill. It's going to have better nighttime usability. There's also a continuous flooring, which is visually expansive throughout the unit. Now, it's obviously going to be easier to maintain this beautiful LVP flooring compared to a lot of other flooring choices, maybe in a custom home. Yes, you can get nice hardwood floors. Probably not going to be as practical as LVP. Let's just be honest. It's going to give you a cleaner look. It's going to have a lot easier maintenance. Now, the pantry and storage setup is highly practical. The pantry placement is near the fridge, which is very, very efficient. And for daily living, that's going to be epic because I'd hate for you to have to walk across a room over and over again, day in and day out for your pantry. Now, you've got beautiful, clean finishes here, granite countertops, nice modern cabinets, stainless steel appliances, stove, microwave, refrigerator, dishwasher in the island. You got a beautiful sink here. I mean, it's a really, really good setup. Now, what I want to talk to you just real quick about is the upgrade money trap. You know, ultimately, this is where most buyers overspend. They overspend in cabinets, countertops, appliances. I help clients decide what's actually worth upgrading, and we'll get into that later. But you can see you got a nice dining room space, nice living room space here, and there's plenty of natural light, and you got your downstairs master. Check that out. Natural light, plenty of windows, higher ceilings, recessed light. We got dual vanities. Very, very nice. We've got a nice shower set up. We don't have the lights on in here. Let's get some lights on. There we go. Here's your restroom. Let's get a light on in here. Aha, walk-in closet. And it is a true walk-in closet. Check that out. Another closet. Huh? Look at that, guys. Now, this is a really functional layout and checks a lot of boxes. But the difference between a good purchase and a great one comes down to how you approach the details. That's where having a buyer's broker like myself is really going to matter. This home is designed to work well, but whether it actually lives well comes down to the details that most buyers don't think about. Guys, that pretty much wraps it up for our home tour of the Cali. If you're still early in the process, start by watching a few more of these community breakdowns. Then when you're ready, we'll build your strategy together. And if you want to make sure you're not overpaying, missing incentives, or choosing the wrong community, reach out. I'll help you compare the entire market and structure a deal that works for you and not the builder. Call me now at 843-360-1737 and let's map out your strategy the right way. Now, this is the type of home that checks a lot of the boxes. Number one is single story, which is absolutely epic because in my opinion, it's going to have a really wide buyer pool when you go to resell it, which is something that you need to be thinking about when you buy it. It's got a bright exterior that really stands out and a private tree line behind you. These are all features that tend to hold value really, really well. And value is what determines if this deal is a good deal. That's why you hire a buyer's broker. It's just that simple because I'm going to be protecting the deal you're buying, not only the home you're buying and making sure you like it and you love it, but making sure that it makes sense for you. We've checked into all the little details that a lot of other buyers just overlook because they're all hyped up and excited that they're getting a new construction home. And while we want you hyped up and we want you excited and we want you over the moon about, you know, your experience buying a new construction home, we don't want that so much so that the emotion runs the logic out the window and you don't get a really good deal because you don't have a solid agent looking out for your best interest. If I were representing you, I'd also be thinking about how we can improve curb appeal. I mean, it takes 2 seconds to call a landscaper out here to do some mock-ups and let us know what they charge to add some curb appeal. And who knows, maybe we could negotiate that into your deal with DR Horton. Yes, this is a very real thing, guys. They want to sell the house, it's still a deal. You don't have to take the terms that they give you. You can set your own. Now, if I were representing you, we'd be all over curb appeal. How the lot drains would be a really, really big deal. This is on a slope, so that's important. And then how this compares to other homes in the neighborhood. We'd be looking out, looking at the price of the lot per square foot, possibly the price of the home per square foot. We'd be making sure that we're doing apples to apples here and that you're getting a solid value, because that's what determines whether or not this is a good deal or just a great one. All right, guys, let's check out some of the on-site amenities right here at Winfield Farms. As you can see, I'm going to just walk you straight up here and give you a real quick zoom in of the playground. Now, there are some community gardens. There's also a fire pit, which is super cool. There are sidewalks, which is great because if you like to run, this neighborhood's going to work out well for you. Me personally, I enjoy the whole sidewalk running. The entrance to the gate is just over here. I'm going to give you a little bit up close and personal tour real fast. All right. And the gate was easy. Come on. Now, obviously, you have some slides. Got some cool stuff here. Got swings over that way to the right. We got places for parents and grandparents and friends and family to sit. That is covered. So, you have some shade during the summer months. Boy, that sun is blazing out here. Generally we have about 215 days out of the year are sunny. So you are in Myrtle Beach. So you are definitely going to want that shaded covered area. Now check that out. Isn't this a great little place to have friends and family hang out? Absolutely stunning. And this is the community gardens. As you can see here, super cool. I mean, that's a really cool concept. I think it's cool. Then you got swings over here to the left, swings over here to the right, and finally, a fire pit. And I could just imagine at nighttime, you bring your little camping chairs, you're hanging out, it's a little cooler, got the fire going, friends and family. In this video, I've highlighted the best components of the deal, shown you the community, and given you an analysis of the property with a walkthrough of the model. But next, I'll cover a walkthrough of the amenities and explain how a buyer's broker protects your best interest both at purchase and for future resale. Then, I'll compare builder incentives so you can see which communities offer the best deals, the asking prices of the current community we're exploring, as well as new construction versus resale comparables in this market area. So you can see not only how this community stacks up against the rest of the market, but whether the price you're paying is actually justified. Because if this community sits in the upper tier of pricing compared to others nearby, the real question becomes, what are you getting in exchange for that premium price? Is it a larger lot, more privacy, better amenities, stronger location, or a more desirable layout? I want you to decide for yourself if those advantages are worth paying for, or if there's a better value elsewhere. Finally, we'll dive into lot strategy so that you know which lots to buy for resale value and which to avoid completely. Then, we'll get your community-specific questions on fencing, pets, etc. answered with an on-site agent interview, or I'll explain them myself. Understand the pros and cons of the communities in this market area, look at floor plan resale potential, and check into a rental pro forma and appreciation trends for all of our investors. After that, I'll complete an upgrade cost audit so you know which upgrades are essential, have a potential resale return, and which to avoid. I'll break down your area points of interest that will impact your daily life, like schools, shopping, golf, restaurants, grocery stores, medical, highway infrastructure, and even the best gas stations to use. Finally, if you stay tuned until the end, I'll give you the out-of-pocket expenses to purchase the featured home. Work through your first year expenses with an annual and monthly breakdown and explain financing options. Plus, I'll give you my top picks for new construction communities in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I cannot wait to talk about top new construction builder incentives in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Now, let's jump right into it. DR Horton, we've got paid closing costs between $6,000 and $12,000. Always, it depends on the deal. It depends on the timing. Is the property built already? Is the property under construction? Those are some of the factors that you're going to see at play here between your interest rate and your closing costs. So a home that's already constructed, you're going to get a better deal on. They want to move that fast. A home that has to be built from the ground up, well, you're probably not going to get as good of a deal. Now, there's a range there. Paid closing costs, $6,000 to $12,000. Interest rate starts as low as 3.99%, going up to that plus or minus stands for the current market rate. Now, there are no other incentives that I'm aware of after interviewing and talking with D.R. Horton reps. Now, Pulte Homes, $10,000 to $14,000 in paid closing costs, 3.99% interest to the going rate. Now, other incentives is between $20,000 and $40,000 off the ask price. I cannot wait to dig deeper and unlock some insights for you here on these builder incentives. Now, Mungo Homes, you've got $3,500 to $5,000 in paid closing costs. Your interest rate starts at a 4.99 to the going market rate. They are higher on the interest rate than both D.R. Horton and Pulte. That's Mungo Homes. And then there were no other incentives with Mungo Homes. Now, finally, we've got Meritage Homes. We've got paid closing costs to the tune of $5,000. Your interest rate as low as 4.99% to the going market rate. And they do free appliances, which I thought was really, really cool. They take care of all your appliances to include your washer and dryer. Yeah, not bad. Now, let's dig in and go a little bit deeper. Number one, don't chase the rate alone. Look at the total incentive value. We got multiple builders offering as low as 3.99% interest rates. So rate is becoming less of a differentiator between the new construction builders. The real spread is in your closing cost, it's in your price reductions, and the other incentives or extras that you can pull off in your deal. The takeaway here is that a 3.99% interest rate is great, but if one builder is giving you $30,000 off the price, that often beats a slightly better long-term rate. Now, number two, Pulte is hands down the most aggressive equity play on the table. $10,000 to $14,000 in closing costs, $20,000 to $40,000 off the ask price. This is the only builder here creating instant equity at purchase. Now, what this means for you as a buyer is it's going to have the lower loan amounts. It's going to be better. You're going to have better refinance flexibility later, and there's going to be stronger resale positioning. Now, the investor angle here is this is the closest thing to a buying below the market that you're going to find in new construction. I like this play a lot, if I'm honest with you. Out of all of these builders, me personally, I think you're getting the best deal here. Plus, they seem to be a pretty, they're more of a custom builder, which, if you've seen the videos, if you haven't seen the videos, you need to watch the videos and learn the differences between the different builders in our market. I think Pulte is winning on the deal, though. Now, number three, D.R. Horton is the best cash to close play. So for those of you with less money in your account and you're going to be tight bringing cash to the table, you might want to go with the D.R. Horton home. $6,000 to $12,000 in closing cost is huge. Competitive at that 3.99% rate. There's no flashy extras, but the takeaway is that it's a clean, simple, predictable deal. It's strong for buyers who want the lowest out-of-pocket upfront expenses. They want stable financing, but they have no need for added value beyond just the basics. If you want to come out of pocket with the least amount of money, D.R. Horton's your builder. Now, Mungo and Meritage, this is the middle ground, but weaker financially. It's not going to be the best deal. It's low closing cost. It's got a higher rate at 4.99%, and there's no extras. In my opinion, this is the weakest overall financial package on the table. Now, could one of these homes be the best value for you? Absolutely. If you find a lot of value in the product line that Mungo or Meritage produces, even though the numbers don't work out well for you, it might still be the best value for you. And those are things that we have to dive in and work through, the personal use value versus the financial deal, and kind of find out where your priorities are. If it's more important for you to get a perceived value that you have in a Meritage or a Mungo home, then it still might be a win for you, even though it's not the best deal. If you're more financially minded and your goals are more financial, or perhaps you don't have as much money to come out of pocket, a variety of factors, but if your priorities are more on the financial side, then Mungo and Meritage probably are out of the game for you. Now, Meritage, we've got a flat $5,000 closing rate with a 4.99% interest rate. We've got free appliances. Now, the appliances feel good emotionally for sure, But financially, that's maybe $3,000 to $6,000 worth of value. You're effectively paying more monthly for a cosmetic perk. Let's call it what it is. Now, the hidden truth, builders are incentivizing differently based on strategy. Pulte, they're here to move inventory and discount that price. D.R. Horton keeps their pricing firm, but they support financing. And then Mungo and Meritage, minimal incentives. They rely on the product brand. The takeaway for buyers is you're not just choosing a house, you're choosing a builder's business strategy. You got to see it for what it is. Now, the smart buyer strategy, and this is where we really need to dig in. When you're comparing communities, your buyers should ask, what am I getting in exchange for the price I'm paying? And guys, I try to drive this home in my videos, which is why we compare different builders. It's why we look at resale value versus new construction. It's why we look at comparables. It's why we go in and say, all right, in this community, I'm getting a larger lot and better privacy, and I'm paying a little bit of premium compared to the rest of the market. But in this community, I'm not paying a premium. I don't have a larger lot. And then maybe as a buyer, you don't even care about a larger lot. Well, then it might be good for you to go with a lower tier new construction builder as opposed to a higher tier, because what you're paying for is worth it for you or not worth it for you. So you've got to always ask yourself, what am I getting in exchange for the price I'm paying? And so when you walk into a new construction community, you see that asking price, but we dig in deeper and look at things on a price per square foot basis and compare your home to the rest of the market so you can see where it sits and see if that premium is worth it. That's one of the things you've got to do. It's why you hire a solid buyer's broker to help you work through the nuts and bolts of not overpaying for what you actually value and want. Now, if one home is $10,000 more expensive, but another gives you $30,000 off up front, that's a $40,000 swing in your favor. Now, the bottom line is best upfront equity, Pulte. Best for lowest cash out of pocket, D.R. Horton. Best emotional perks, but weaker financially, Meritage. Weakest overall deal structure is going to be Mungo. Now, builder incentives can look similar on the surface, but when you break them down, the difference between these deals can easily be $20,000 to $40,000. That's why we don't just pick a house. We structure the best deal across the entire market. And it's why you hire a buyer's broker like me to run your numbers so that you can get the insights that you need to make a savvy decision when buying new construction in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Pick up the phone and give me a call. It's 843-360-1737. I believe without independent representation, buyers don't compare other communities that may offer better value, miss opportunities with stronger incentives or better timing, and often accept default structures on financing, upgrades, or lot premiums that may not serve them long term. I believe most buyers are guided to focus on the home itself, when the real decision should be about resale, long-term value, and how the deal is structured from day one. I believe when you have the right broker in your corner, you're not just choosing a home. You're comparing the entire market, structuring the deal strategically, and positioning yourself to win both now at purchase and when you sell. All right, guys, so let's work through community pricing right here in Winfield Farms. Now, essentially, you can see there's 3 bedrooms and there's 4 bedrooms right there on the screen. I'm not going to go through the exact pricing. Feel free to pause the video and look through the pricing so you can see all the properties that sold in this community in the last 6 months. Now, you'll also notice in the top right corner, there is a high sales price, a low sales price, a median sales price, and an average sold price. And then above that, you'll see the asking price, how it was listed initially when they put it on the market. So you'll also see a list price, high, low, average, median. Now, that's an indicator over the last 6 months of what the builder listed the property at, and then eventually what those properties sold for. Now, here's your takeaway. Builders, number one, builders are missing the market on pricing across the board. You'll notice that the average list price is $385, while the average sold price is $365. That's a $20,000 gap. Your median list price is $383,840. Your median sold price is $360, another gap of $24,000. Your takeaway here is that buyers are not paying asking price in this community. Negotiation or incentives is already baked into the market. So basically, you should be expecting to get some sort of incentives when you walk in there, and you should be negotiating as much as possible when you walk in there. And if I might add, you should have your buyer's broker going to town for you to get as much out of this deal as possible. Now, it's going to get sweeter, so keep watching. Number two, it's got a long days on market, which is going to equal buyer leverage. Now, this is a slow-moving new construction market. Now, what this means is builders are carrying inventory. Holding costs are increasing. Pressure builds over time. Your angle as a savvy new construction buyer is the longer it sits, the better your deals get. So ultimately, you should be watching days on market and narrowing down your top 3 communities and periodically checking in with your buyer's broker. Hey, have the incentives improved? Have things changed? Did they have any new to be built, or excuse me, any new under construction properties that are already built that they're offering sweeter incentives on? The longer that property sits on the market, the more likely you're going to get a higher amount of closing cost, a cheaper interest rate, maybe appliances thrown in. That builder wants to move that inventory. So you should be watching days on market or your broker, and you should be tagging that top 3 communities and let it sit. Let it sit. If you're not in a rush to buy, then the deal starts to work in your favor the longer those properties sit on the market. Number 3, price reductions are consistent, not random. Now look at the pattern. You've got $364,840 dropping to $355, $375,840 dropping to $360, $383,840 dropping to $369, $415,190 dropping to $390. Most deals are closing $20,000 to $25,000 below asking price. If you walk in there all hyped up emotionally and they're giving you an asking price offer because they've picked up on that, you're paying too much in this specific new construction community. There's just no way around it. Now, this is not a one-off. This is the market behavior. So what you're seeing is properties are closing under asking price. There's definitely a pattern here. So if anybody tries to pull the wool over your eyes, come on, have a solid buyer's broker. Go in there and negotiate on your behalf. Pick up the phone and call me, 843-360-1737. Now, number 4, higher price doesn't equal higher dollars per square foot. Example, a $415,000 home is at $177 per square foot. Now, a $364,000 home is at $219 a square foot. There is an inverse relationship going on here. You would think if I pay more for the home, it should have a higher price per square foot, but that's not the case. The takeaway is that larger homes are being discounted harder. Buyers can often get more house for better value per square foot. If you're stretching your budget slightly, you're actually going to get a better deal per square foot on a larger home. Come on now. If you're stretching your budget slightly, you're actually getting a better deal per square foot if you buy a larger home. That's the takeaway here. Now, you might not think that going into this thing, but here we are. Number 5, this is a builder-controlled market, but still negotiable. All 7 sales are DR Horton. All are never occupied, all within Winfield Farms. Normally, that suggests less competition, more pricing control, but the data shows they're still negotiating, they're still discounting. So we've controlled it by isolating only properties in Winfield Farms, and we're able to see there's definitely discounts going on. Even in a builder-dominated community, the buyer still has some leverage, and that leverage is time. Time is working against the builder. He knows that, and he's got to get those homes sold. The longer they sit, the better your deal gets. Number 6, the real game, incentives versus price cuts. Here's the hidden layer most buyers miss. Builders can drop price or keep price high plus offer incentives like closing cost or rate buydowns. Now, either way, they're still adjusting between 5 and 7% to get deals done. Your edge is you need to compare the net price after incentives, monthly payment impact, and resale positioning. Those are the three main targets that you need to be getting right when you're making a comparison in the deal. I'm going to go through and compare all three properties from three different angles. I'm going to look at the net price after incentives. I'm going to basically take the asking price. I'm going to subtract out closing costs. I'm going to subtract out any kind of, maybe they're doing appliances there, maybe they're giving a discount on the asking price for property A, property B, and property C. I'm going to side by side compare the net price after incentives on all three deals. Now, that's just one way to look at it. Then I'm going to check out my monthly payment impact on all three deals. Property A might have a 3.99% interest rate. I'm going to run my mortgage on that property. Property B might have a 4.99% interest rate. I'm going to run my mortgage on that property. And then property C might have a going market rate interest rate. I'm going to run my numbers and compare monthly. And then finally, I'm going to look at resale positioning. I'm going to go property A has got a larger lot while property B has a smaller lot. And property C, maybe has the same size lot as A. Then I'm going to go, well, property A's got privacy, property B doesn't have privacy, property C doesn't have privacy. Then I'm going to go, property A is a waterfront property, property B is up front in the neighborhood next to all the noise, so the lot's not so great. Property C, is next to the road, the main entrance road, or outside of amenities or something like that. I'm going to factor in the different, the different potential premiums on each particular lot and the layout of the property to make sure resale wise, which one do I believe has the highest probability of success to appeal to the largest buyer pool. And I'm going to go, property A's got the highest resale, property B's got the second highest, property C's got the third highest. And then I'm going to compare all three of these to make sure which deal ranks for number one, which deal for number two, and which deal for number three. So I've got a side-by-side comparison. This way, I'm looking at incentives and price cuts objectively and from multiple angles. So I'm seeing the deal objectively. Now, so every home in this community at Winfield Farms sold below asking, with an average of about $20,000 in concessions. So the question isn't whether you'll get a deal. It's how good of a deal you structure. Now, the bottom line strategy for buyers is expect $15,000 to $25,000 in negotiation power. Use days on market as leverage in your favor. Think strategically about that builder needing to sell. Compare price per square foot, not just price, and don't accept builder pricing at face value. Builders set the price, but the market decides what they actually get. My job is to help make sure that you're buying at the market number and not at the builder's number. Pick up the phone and give me a call. It's 843-360-1737. All right, so your overall winner is going to be the Arcadia. The Arcadia is going to win for net price incentives, and it's going to win for resale positioning, with Winfield Farms winning only on monthly payment impact. Now, your property ranking, I've got you ranked at Arcadia being number one, Winfield Farms being number two for monthly payment impact, and then Arboron Woods, it didn't really win on anything, so it's going to be ranked number three. That's how I would dice up those three subject properties to find out where is the best deal. Now, you might be wondering how I chose a winner for monthly payment impact. It's real simple. You take the highest monthly payment on the board and you subtract the other monthly payments from that number. So, for example, Arboron Woods, it was a $661 saving, as where Winfield Farms, I think there was over $1,000 savings. So obviously the place where you're going to save the most money out of your three options is going to be the winner on monthly payment impact. It's just that simple. Before you make a decision, let's run your deal the right way. Compare incentives, financing options, and timing across multiple communities so you know exactly where you stand. And even if you're already talking to a builder, it's worth getting a second opinion, because small changes in structure can mean thousands of dollars in difference. Call me now at 843-360-1737 and let's break down your deal the right way before you move forward. Let's cover the active listings on the market at Winfield Farms. Guys, what you'll notice is there's 13 active listings right now that you can purchase. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 that say never occupied. In other words, those are new construction homes that have already been built that you can most likely get the best deals on because it's built and the inventory's, the builder's holding it. It's not making money and he needs to get it sold real fast and in a hurry. So those are, as far as the best deals, the properties that I would target in the market rather than a property that is currently under construction or even a to-be-built property, which is one that you get from the ground up. You come in, you design the whole thing, you choose, go through the whole process. The to-be-builts, you're going to get the worst deal on. The never occupied, those are already built homes. The builder wants to move those really, really bad. You're going to get the best incentives, best deals, have the most negotiating power on those. There's 4 of them currently on the market in Winfield Farms. Now you'll see, you got one that's days on market 87 days, one that's days on market 130 days, one that's days on market 143 days, and one that's days on market 107. If you want the best deal, I'd be going after the one 143 days on the market. That's the one the builder wants to sell the absolute most. Now, you'll see here, there's 13 listings. You can see beds and baths. I'm not going to go through all of these, but there are lots of 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms on the market. There's a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, and then there's a 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom, and even a 5-bedroom, 4-bathroom right there at the bottom. They range in price from $339,840 to, that's the low, to an average price of $372,896 and a high price of as much as $423,375. So those 5 bedrooms are over $400,000. Your average price for a 3-bedroom is going to be about $372,000, and then your low on those 3 bedrooms is $339,000. I would be targeting properties never occupied. That's where I'm going to get the best deal. I believe the difference between an average deal and a great one is rarely the price. It's how you structure incentives, optimize financing, control timing, and ultimately protect your resale. I believe great buyers aren't focused on small price reductions. They're leveraging closing cost credits, rate buydowns, free upgrades or premiums, and lot fee reductions to create immediate and long-term financial advantage. All right, so I went ahead and pulled all of the new construction and resale homes in this same area with Winfield Farms. I pulled those numbers for you to see what the price per square foot is on the homes so that we can kind of group them into tiers, a low tier, a medium tier, and a high tier, so that you can see where Winfield Farms falls on that scale. And you can make a decision as to whether or not, one, are they asking a premium compared to the market? First question. And then 2, with that premium, is it worth it for you with what they're offering? So it's very, very important to know this kind of information to make sure that you're not overpaying for the new construction home you're buying. You very well could be happy with a lower tier property in a cheaper price per square foot price range, and you really might not want the premium upgrades that you're paying for with Winfield Farms. A solid buyer's broker is going to help you work through that and know where you are in the market, if you're paying a premium or not, and if that's actually valuable to you and worth it. So let's kind of look through those numbers. Now, from your image, you've got Island Green in that 134 to 142 square feet price range. And Island Green is a resale. Myrtle Beach Golf and Yacht, 149 to 155, another resale. Heron Point, new construction by D.R. Horton, $155 per square foot. Winfield Farms, which is our subject property that we've been looking at, a $156.77 per square foot. Then you've got Oyster Bluff at 158 to 160, and then you got Sandpiper, which is also in Myrtle Beach Golf and Yacht, from 158 to 163 per square foot. Now, let's look at the price per square foot positioning. We've got the lower end nearby comparables at 134 to to 145 per square foot. So those are going to be our lower tier homes. We've got a mid-range at 145 to 155 per square foot. So that's going to be about average in this market area where the average market sits. And then you've got the upper range. It's at that 155 to 165 square foot price per square foot. Now, this property here that we've been looking at, these properties sit here at that 156.77 price per square foot, which puts them in the upper range, which means you are paying a premium to buy in this neighborhood compared to the majority of the other neighborhoods in this area. Now you've got to ask yourself, what does that mean? Well, this tells me it's priced slightly above average, but still within the market range. So now the question becomes, is the premium justified? You know, do I want, now what do I get when I buy at Winfield Farms? I get a larger lot. I can get tree line properties that might have more privacy. I can, which obviously privacy is a premium. People like that. I can buy on the water here, which could be a premium for me. I could buy across from the amenities. So maybe that's something I like a lot, but most likely won't be able to resell based off that, most likely for premium. The condition of the property. Is the homes that I buy with D.R. Horton slightly nicer than the average homes in the market? Or are they about the same? Are they nicer than the lower end homes in the market? Or are they about the same? And then finally, that layout. Can I get a layout here that has a really strong resale value, and I'm going to be able to sell it because it's going to, I'm going to be able to sell it at a premium because it's going to attract a wider pool when I go to resell this property. So those are the value propositions of Winfield Farms. We already know we're in the upper tier compared to the rest of the market, and we are paying a premium for it. But you as the buyer have to answer the question, hey, are those things I find valuable? Or could I get a better deal elsewhere right here in this same area? If I don't want to be in this area, I could buy at the lower tier. I could buy at the average tier, but I'm paying a premium, a little bit of a premium to be right here at Winfield Farms. Now, one other thing I want to point out, and this is where most buyers make a mistake. They pay top of range pricing for a very average home. If this doesn't have upgrades, privacy, or a superior layout, then you're overpaying relative to the market. Now, we've already, gone through this. We've sized up this deal. Obviously, you do have some privacy. You do have larger lots, so it is, in my opinion, worth a premium. You get massive lot sizes out here. You have a little bit more space in between the homes. If you find those things valuable, then you're not overpaying. But if I was doing the numbers on this area and it was at 156 in that upper tier, and I wasn't getting privacy and I wasn't getting larger lots and my homes were close together, I wouldn't be paying a premium for it. I'd go look elsewhere and get more for my money. That's why you want a solid buyer broker like myself to help you out in your deal. Builder reps will help you buy in their community. My job is to help you decide if it's the right deal in the entire market and structure it so you win now and at resale. If you're thinking about buying new construction anywhere in Myrtle Beach or the Grand Strand, the next step is simple. Schedule a call with me. We'll walk through your goals, compare communities, and map out the strongest deal strategy for your situation. Call me now at 843-360-1737 and let's make sure you get this right from the start. So you can see on your screen all the lots here at Winfield Farms. Now we're going to analyze and find out which lots are the most valuable and which you should avoid. And you want a solid buyer's broker to help you think through these things before you buy, because the most valuable lots is where your money is made when you go to resell. So you want to get the tree line and the perimeter lots. Those are going to be your top tier lots. Right side backing up to the woods, lots 101 through lots 120 range. The left side outer edge also is going to be lots 173 through 175. Why they're valuable? No rear neighbors. If you plant, which obviously gives you a privacy premium. Now, they could be quieter. We cannot guarantee that, but they could be quieter, which might be better if you were going to do rentals. Let's say you're buying this for an investment property and you're going to rent it out to somebody. And then these lots also feel premium versus the builder, cookie cutter, you know, all the other lots basically. You know, you can upgrade a house, but you really cannot upgrade privacy. You either got it on the lot or you don't have it. And that's a big, big win. Now, the next most valuable lots, that's going to be the pond water view lots because there's scarcity there, and scarcity equals value. If there's not a lot of something and a lot of people want it, it's going to make the price of those lots go up. The bottom lots near the water feature are around lots 126 to 128. Now, the upper section near the pond by Enterprise Road also is going to be another top tier place. There's limited supply, which gives a natural appreciation advantage. It's an emotion or buyer pull. It's huge for resale. People want to be near the water. And it's going to make for better photos, which is going to make for better marketing. And if it's got better marketing, most likely you can get more money for it. These are the lots buyers fight over later. So our top tier is going to be privacy with that tree line. Second tier down is going to be those waterfront. And then you've got open space green buffer lots. We've got lots backing to designated green space, you know, that center strip near 150 to 160. Now, why? Because there's no homes directly behind these. It's going to feel less dense, and it's going to be safer long-term resale than the interior lots. Keep in mind that you're always thinking about resale when you buy. That's the name of the game. Now, this is going to give you breathing room without paying full water view pricing. So this is that more safe play. And then, guys, the cul-de-sac, the low traffic lots. It's going to be a premium for these, you know, around the grazing street turn and near the interior bends. There's going to be less traffic, which means it's going to be safer for families, most likely. Moms that want to be able to watch their kids play in the cul-de-sac when they're outside from their kitchen or from their living room, they'll pay a premium for those lots to be on that cul-de-sac. It's going to be more desirable for end users, which are your future buyers. So those are your top 4 lots. Now, the worst lots where buyers accidentally lose money is going to be the entrance and the main road lots. That's the biggest mistake. Near Enterprise Road entrance, the first few lots entering a community, you don't want to buy those. There's going to be traffic noise. There's going to be headlights at night. There's going to be lower buyer demand later. These are the first homes people skip when reselling. This is why you need a solid buyer broker to help you work through these kind of pitfalls when buying new construction. Pick up the phone and give me a call. It's 843-360-1737. You want somebody that's going to give you accountability and give you feedback. Now, number 2 worst lots, the tighter interior fishbowl lots. Those are going to be the middle rows between 140 and 150 range especially. They're surrounded on all sides. There's going to be zero privacy, windows facing the neighbors, which means it's going to block your natural light. It's going to feel cramped and you're going to feel boxed in. And this is where density works against you. People are going to feel that when they go step into that home to buy it for resale and be like, I don't think I want to pay for this one. That's just my opinion, but I think it's pretty solid. Now, the odd-shaped corner compression lots, angled lots near curves, like, 170 to 171 area. Some near grazing street turns. Now, why? Because they're awkward. They have an awkward backyard use. There's less functional space, and there's sometimes smaller usable lot sizes. So, finally, guys, the construction transition phase edges. Bordering undeveloped areas or future phases. Those could be harder to sell. What if you go to sell your property and you've got like a construction area next door and they're talking about doing it, but they haven't done the next phase, and now people are looking at buying your lot and they're looking at buying other lots and they're going, well, I don't know if they're going to finish the construction. They say they're going to finish the construction, but who really knows if they're going to finish the construction, and I don't want to live next door to a clay lot. So might want to watch out for that. Plus, there's going to be lots of noise. If they do construction, there's going to be dust. It's going to create uncertainty, and it's going to be an unknown for future neighbors. So when you're reselling it, people don't like the uncertainty and they don't like the unknown. It's definitely going to impact your sales price. Now, basically, Two homes can be identical, guys, but the lot can change the value by $20,000 to $50,000 over time. And you need to be thinking about lot value when you purchase the home and when you make a site selection, because it is going to make a huge difference when you go to resell that home. Now stay tuned, because coming up in the rest of the video, we'll get your community-specific questions on fencing, pets, etc. answered with an on-site agent interview, or I'll explain them myself. Understand the pros and cons of the communities in this market area, look at floor plan resale potential, and check into a rental pro forma and appreciation trends for all of our investors. After that, I'll complete an upgrade cost audit so you know which upgrades are essential, have a potential resale return, and which to avoid. I'll break down your area points of interest that will impact your daily life, like schools, shopping, golf, restaurants, grocery stores, medical, highway infrastructure, and even the best gas stations to use. Finally, if you stay tuned until the end, I'll give you the out-of-pocket expenses to purchase the featured home. Work through your first year expenses with an annual and monthly breakdown, and explain financing options. Plus, I'll give you my top picks for new construction communities in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. So let's talk pets. Let's talk fences. Let's talk HOA fees. I know a lot of people are all bent out of shape over HOA fees. How much is the HOA fee here?
In Winfield Farms, it's going to be $85 a month.
So cheap. So cheap.
And guess what that includes? So we have an amenities area, which has a brand new playground in it, community gardens area. It's got a fire pit, an activity lawn. So a lot of nice space to be able to go with your kids, with your family, and just hang out in the community area.
Yep.
Also fencing, you had mentioned. We do allow 6-foot privacy fencing.
Come on, guys.
So that's great. You can have that big backyard. You know, put in that privacy fencing. If you want to put your pool in your backyard, you can do that.
So you can put a pool in?
You certainly can.
Come on,
yes.
That's a win.
Yes, and you can have, dogs, cats, the pets.
Is there any limit? Like you can only have 3 or?
There are no limits in our HOA rules that say so.
So if you've got 5 dogs and you need a place to live, you can come right here to Winfield Farms and put a fence up and you're good to go.
I mean, like, look at these 3-car garages. You've got the 5 dogs and all the kids. You've got all this space for driveways as well, not only a big backyard.
I was going to mention that. Do you see the size of this driveway?
Yeah.
I mean, that whole side could be dedicated to just the kids.
Yes, the whole family over. And obviously, as the kids get older, they're going to have cars, so they're going to need to park in there.
Super cool.
What's great about this community, too, some communities don't have sidewalks, but in this community, we do have sidewalks kind of in those interior lots.
Yeah. So running, so it could be a nice little spot to run at.
Definitely.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Right? You don't even have to go out of the community.
Yeah.
Excellent. Do you know how many homes they're going to put in here?
We are eventually going to have around 211 lots.
Wow. All right, Ashley. So if you were buying today, which lots are going to offer the longest, best term value?
I would definitely say the lots that are either backing up to the pond, so that water view lot, or even some of these wooded lots right here where we know those trees will always stay there, are going to be...
People are always looking for privacy.
Exactly. Yeah. They want that privacy in the backyard, and they know that those are going to stay there.
So if you can find a lot that has a tree line and the trees are guaranteed to stay there, obviously you've got privacy, and that's long-term privacy. And long-term privacy is going to sell for a premium, as opposed to not knowing if the trees behind your lot are going to be there permanently.
Correct. Exactly.
If we had to dive into the nuts and bolts of it.
Yes.
And then you were saying, the pond lots. You obviously, you've seen a lot of people purchase a lot of lots, and you can see, guys, there's a nice little body of water here and a fountain and stuff like that. So long-term, when I'm buying, I'm thinking about resale.
Right.
If I'm on the water, that's going to hold a premium.
Definitely. And even now that you talk about this, some of these lots that some of these folks have already moved into, they're never going to have a home that's going to be across the street from them, because they're going to have this activity lawn and amenities, which is nice because then you have that privacy in the front as well.
So what you're saying is the play here is these are safe. In other words, it might not be a premium, but it's definitely not going to be a deficit. because you know you're always going to be in front of all of the on-site amenities.
Exactly.
And honestly, if we get into the nuts and bolts of it again, maybe there's a grandparent that wants to be across the street from the amenities, or a parent, so they can look out the windows and keep their eyes on their kids.
Exactly.
You know, at the end of the day, there's a right lot for everybody. And when it comes to resale, yes, there are some people that are going to prefer a corner lot. You know, there are some people that are going to really value privacy. There are some people that are going to value the amenity center being right next door, right out front of the home. So, you know, where's the largest pool of buyers? There's probably going to be your biggest odds of success for being able to resell it for the most amount of money. At least that's how I would think about it. But that doesn't mean that, you know, these homes across from the amenity center don't have the right buyer that might pay a premium for it.
Right.
All right, guys, these are the interior packages right here at Winfield Farms. Ashley, take it away.
Yes, so these are the interior packages for our DRHE product line. We've got 3 different interior packages. It's our gray 3, our white 5, and our white 6, which basically indicates that you're going to get either this gray color cabinet or the white colored cabinet. And in each one of these packages, you're going to see your granite countertops in the kitchen, your cultured marble in the bathroom, and then your LVP and your carpet only going in those secondary bedrooms and second floors.
Super cool. And so anyone that comes in gets these option choices in this community here.
Correct. Now, if you did want to upgrade a little bit though, we do have that option. For example, you could even upgrade your granite to a quartz.
Oh, very, very cool. And what other kind of upgrades are there here?
We do have a couple different selections. They have, you know, we have some folks that will come in and maybe don't want any carpet. So if you wanted to match your LVP throughout, as long as you're doing it as a pre-sale, we are able to give you a quote on how much it'll be for that specific floor plan to have no carpet and LVP throughout.
And when you say pre-sale, some people might not know what that means.
So basically, as long as the house hasn't been built yet, there's certain stages of construction. If we haven't reached a certain stage of construction that we aren't able to flip it yet, then we can do that for you. Yeah. If it's a finished home, obviously we can't go in and make that change.
They're not going to tear up the carpet and put LVP on a finished home.
Exactly.
All right, guys, so we're right here. We're coming up on a new construction home. You can see, please be careful with those hills on those rocks. I don't know how she's going to do it, but she's doing it. All right, guys. Now, you can see the home here. What phase are we in?
This particular home is in a stage 4. It's about to be in stage 5, which means we're going to be getting insulation soon. And then it'll be going to our drywall stage in stage 6.
All right. And what stage is it totally done and they can move in?
Stage 12. So there's 12 stages of construction.
They're about halfway through here.
Yes.
All right.
Stage 5 and 6 are usually our longest stages of construction.
Okay.
Then after that, it starts picking up pretty quickly.
Okay. Now, guys, you can see we've got framing everywhere. There's a bathroom here. It's coming together. It's exciting. Natural light in those windows. Anything you want to share?
This particular floor plan that we're in is a Dover, which usually is a 3-bedroom with a flex room, ranch style home. However, you might want to notice is right over here, they have decided to add that second level. So on that second level, you're going to get another loft space, another bathroom, and another bedroom.
Wow.
So this is a very popular floor plan.
Dover. And how many bedrooms total generally?
So with that second level, it's 4 bedrooms. If you just did a ranch style home, it'd be 3 bedrooms with a flex.
Very, very cool. Very, very cool. Now, one thing I want to draw your attention to is just back behind you, you can see beautiful water view.
Yes. Look at that view right there. Stunning.
Plenty of natural light coming in through these windows, which is going to be great for resale. You don't want to have dark areas in your home. The cool thing is that right there is the kitchen, which is the command center or the hub of the home where everyone's going to be gathering. So if you can imagine it, guys, you're going to be standing here in your kitchen. This is an island. You've got your sink. You're doing stuff. And you're looking out in the backyard, you're seeing the water, you're seeing the kids play. Maybe you put a fence up. I mean, so super cool view. Absolutely a premium, in my opinion, to be able to see that water back there.
Also, take a look at how large this lot is.
Yeah, I was just, wow, it's huge, right?
It's huge. You can kind of see the stakes right there.
All right, guys, so there's a stake See that stake right there? It's way over there. All right, that's the lot line. Where's the other one? Right over there?
Right over there, yep.
All right, so let's kind of zoom in real quick over here. See that pink flag? So like the lots in this community in Winfield Farms are absolutely huge.
Definitely.
I mean, that's a massive lot.
You could put a nice sized pool right here.
I mean, honestly, yeah,
Right?
Great size pool right here.
Mm-hmm.
I believe builder reps represent the builder. So having a broker who represents your financial outcome is not optional, it's essential. Builder reps are there to sell homes in that specific community, protect the builder's pricing and margins, move inventory efficiently, and promote builder-preferred lenders, upgrades, and timelines, because that's their role. A buyer's broker, on the other hand, is there to protect you, to compare multiple communities, negotiate incentives, analyze resale value, evaluate lot premiums, question upgrade pricing, and guide you toward the deal that actually builds your long-term wealth, not just closing on the builder's timeline. Let's work through a rental pro forma right here in Winfield Farms. Now, this is for a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, Cary, it's lot 108. Your cash on this deal was 12.4%, much better than a money market. Let me just throw that out there. Now, or even a high yield savings account at 5%. List price was $339,840. Your down payment, I've got you at 25% down, assuming that you're going to do a debt service coverage ratio loan. A lot of investors like doing this type of loan because they don't have to show their financial statements. Essentially, the lender uses the income from the property to justify the mortgage, so long as you have a 700 credit score or higher and 25% down. Now, could you do 20% down or 15% down or perhaps even 10% down? Absolutely. There's a lot of different loan programs. If you want to get hooked up with my lender, it's 843-360-1737. He is a finance wizard. He does lots of deals with me. Now, your gross rental income projection was $38,400. This is a new construction home. I know of a resale home over 15 years old that can bring in $2,250 a month over there, and it's 1,200 square foot. So this home, being larger and new construction, I think $3,200 a month is totally doable. Now, I'm going to assume that you're going to self-manage here. You've got a gross rental income subtotal of $38,400. Your principal and interest on this deal assumes a 30-year fixed rate mortgage at 7% interest rate. That's $20,340. Your property tax estimate was $4,098. Yes, that's for the year, not the month. Taxes are a lot cheaper in the South, guys. Landlord insurance, $1,800. Pest control, $600. HOA fees, $1,020. Comes out $85 a month. Pretty cool. HOAs protect appreciation on the back end of your investment. HOAs are a very, very smart move. They make sure that the neighborhood doesn't turn into the wild, wild west. And when you go to sell the property, it appreciates and is worth more money. Now, can we ever guarantee that? No, but a solid HOA is going to make value-added decisions protecting your investment. Now, total operating expenses there, $27,858. If you take $27,858 from the $38,400 in gross rental income subtotal up top, you are left with a projected profit of $10,542 per year for a total of $878.50 in mailbox money every month. Let's work through your appreciation on this deal. Guys, in market area 26A, the low 3-bedroom back in 2015 sold for